Of all the stories today or in a really long time, this one, it was the closest to bringing me to tears. Watching the spire of Notre Dame collapse was seriously heart-wrenching. And to all the people of France, to Catholics, condolences. And perhaps this is a more apt situation, thoughts and prayers. This is devastating. I've seen some people they've been really, really upset, and I can understand why. I've been to France on a few occasions. I've seen Notre Dame. I've never been inside, but it truly is magnificent. It's inspirational. It's magnificent. And for me, the reason it's been so heart-wrenching is that I absolutely adore and love the progress and expansion, like the things that humanity has done. One of the things that makes me just really, really sad is the story of the burning of the great library of Alexandria. Like the idea that there was information that was lost, or some great relic showing the accomplishments and how far we've come. And Notre Dame is definitely in line with these great and powerful accomplishments. But there's some really, but now getting past the sentimental, I want to highlight kind of a problem. And we have this story from BuzzFeed News. Notre Dame, YouTube's new fact-check tool attached an article about 9/11 to videos of the fire. The widget showing information about the September 11 terror attacks appears to have been triggered by a new feature YouTube is testing to provide topical context around videos that might contain misinformation. Apparently, on YouTube for the stream, you were getting this panel. YouTube wants to attach these fact-checking panels from Wikipedia, or in this instance, Encyclopedia Britannica, as if those are going to be definitive, spotless and perfect sources either. It's silly to me, but this is a problem brought on by the censorious mainstream media and left. They want YouTube to take action and make changes. Well, you reap what you sow. There's nothing, quite literally, when the left says they've got to do better to stop misinformation and all that stuff, well, what's your solution? Just turn it all off? No, sometimes these bad things exist, and these solutions don't work because you need a human to solve the problem. Now, what we do know is that YouTube has removed these panels, but one of the big problems being brought up by there are people who are on the right who are concerned this may be a deliberate attack, who are upset because this tag is leading people to start talking about conspiracy theories. It's too soon to know what's happening in Notre Dame, but already we're seeing articles being shared, going viral, because this is why I'm not a fan of conspiracy theorists, all right? Here's what we can talk about. This story is being shared by a ton of people. Catholic churches are being desecrated across France, and officials don't know why. Some people believe it's related to black metal or Satanism. Obviously, you have people trying to claim that it's, Islam or something. None of these things have merit, okay? It's true. This is true. And I'm talking about what happened with Notre Dame as of right now. Granted, this is being recorded a few hours before, it's published. So it is entirely possible new information comes out, and I'm wrong about all of this. But the main point I want to bring up is, look, right now, there's concern that people are claiming the fire was an accident due to renovations. There's a lot of people responding to that saying, how do you know? It's been way too soon. You need, inspectors to go in and determine the fire. However, my understanding is that there are actually people who witnessed the beginning of the fire. And I'm pretty sure they gave statements to Fox News. I don't like conspiracies because people run wild with them before we can figure things out. Listen, if you truly think something needs to be solved here, then just go slow about it and don't start going crazy. But I will absolutely, I think I might have, yes, okay. Let's go over the basic news so far. Let's go over the basic news. So, like I showed you, YouTube is doing this thing. It's so damn stupid and honestly offensive. Come on, YouTube. These stupid attempts at solutions to fake news and censorship, it's not going to work. People are going to say things that are going to be wrong sometimes. And you see what you do when you overreact. BuzzFeed's obviously outraged by it. Oh my God, look what they're doing. It's yeah, BuzzFeed, you're a contributor to the problem by forcing YouTube. You keep pressuring them and threatening their advertisers. Of course they're going to do it. But let's read a little bit about what's happening in Notre Dame. Again, man, this is gut-wrenching. Notre Dame Cathedral caught fire Monday, sending smoke billowing into the Paris skyline in photos captured by locals and tourists alike. Shiv Malik, author and former investigative journalist for The Guardian, shared a video with the caption, "Notre Dame, Paris is on fire, and it feels like the end of the world." My God, man, this is really sad. It really, really is. This is an extremely important symbol for Catholics and for many Christians. And, you know, it's an icon for France. And again, I'll say it, for me, these great structures that are so incredibly old it's evidence that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. You know, when I look at this building, when I was in France and many others, the cathedrals around Europe and other landmarks, you look at that and you think about the tremendous power of people coming together to do something magnificent that inspires us to this day. It's crazy. Like, think about how old you are right now, right? I'm 33, and I think about the accomplishments of people 500, 600, 700 years ago. And I'm like, what were they doing in their 20s? And they did these things that today inspire us. I am hundreds of years younger than them. But in terms of my adulthood and my life, I'm around the same age. And it's such a dramatic inspiration to see these things. And it's terrifyingly sad when something like this happens. Right now, what I've heard so far, and again, things could maybe change, is that it is an accident due to renovations. People have, shown photos. There have been scaffolding, and I'm pretty sure. When I remember being there was talks of renovations, at the time, because I can't remember how long it's been since I've been in France. But we'll look at some of these photos, man. Watching the video of the spire collapse was just like getting punched in the gut really hard. It's just, oh man. And then you hear the people in France, really, really, really sad, really sad. So I'll just scroll through these for a second. Fire at Paris Notre Dame Cathedral was started by accident and is related to ongoing work, according to France 2, citing police. Either way, it is terrible and a hideous blow to the symbolic heart of the city. Here's what I want to say about this and in reference to 9/11. First of all, we don't need conspiracy theories yet. Be calm about it. And even though right now he's saying, according to the police, it was due to ongoing work, take it all with a grain of salt. On 9/11, there were many news reports that were wrong. And you can go and watch the archival footage. In one of the reports, I watched this recently because of what's going on with like Elon Omar and the 9/11 stuff. They say, I think it was on CNN, there was a secondary explosion that was maybe from the plane in the building, but you actually watched the second plane go in. They didn't realize that when they were watching the footage. They must have missed the plane, saw the explosion, and reported it was a secondary explosion. There were a lot of reports at the time when it just came out that later turned out to be wrong because the benefit of hindsight. It may come back. They say it was related to ongoing work. Could have been someone flicking a cigarette. Who knows? It's probably too soon because the fire is still blazing. It's possible there were, I heard there were witnesses again. It's not being helped when you do have this factual story. And the important thing to keep in mind when it comes to conspiracy theories is that, yes, coincidences can happen. Just because there has been some vandalism and desecration doesn't mean what's happening at Notre Dame was a deliberate attack by somebody. Because you also have to realize it would be an insane escalation to go from smashing statues to burning down one of the most important and iconic cathedrals in the world. Okay? We'll read a little bit of this just for context so you know. France has seen a spate of attacks against Catholic churches since the start of the year. Vandalism has included arson and desecration. So again, I'm not ruling anything out. I just want people to hold back. If there's reason to believe when this video comes out, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just saying, like, whenever it comes to conspiracy theories, you gotta chill. We gotta chill out. Don't run yourself in the wrong direction. Wait for the evidence and let the evidence guide you. So right now this story exists and Notre Dame is over here, and it may be a relation, but we have to find the evidence of what's going on at Notre Dame and then move from there because it might go somewhere else. But they do report the arson. And they even do include this photo. It says, police officers patrol Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris on September 10th. French churches have been targeted by vandals in a spate of attacks since the start of this year. The last time I was in France, I can't remember when it was. I don't think it was that long ago, but I remember they had a very, very, a heavily armed presence at Notre Dame. But I don't think it's necessarily related to this particular story. This story from Newsweek is from 3/21/19, which means in the past 2 weeks, there has been a string of attacks, including arson and desecration. Vandals have smashed statues, knocked down tabernacles, scattered or destroyed the Eucharist, and torn down crosses, sparking fears of a rise in anti-Catholic sentiment in the country. I'm not surprised that there are people who are scared, angry, and they're pointing the finger and saying, we think this is related. While I certainly think it's important to wait for evidence before moving forward, I absolutely am fine with people saying, this happened, maybe it's related, working hypothesis, I can understand that. I'm really concerned about what's going on with 9/11 has drawn a lot of with the tag on YouTube has drawn a lot of criticism because people are thinking that it's kind of relating the issue to Islam because it's literally in there in the tag. And you're going to have people who are probably not paying attention, seeing this and going, "Oh my God, this was a terror." They're going to think it was a terror attack. I don't even want to say it because I don't want people to start running wild with this. Like we got to be calm about things. We should look at this. We got to be chilled. I'll end with one final thought, man. I'm really heartbroken over this. I hope everybody is, thoughts and prayers, I guess. This is not a person, hopefully everyone's safe. There may be workers involved that could be in trouble. But I would always value human life over a building, for sure. But I also recognize the power and importance of something like this. It's truly a magnificent accomplishment of humanity. And it was absolutely beautiful. It's heartbreaking, man. So I hope everybody can just, be calm about it, not run wild with conspiracies. I think everyone's doing a pretty damn good job. The conversations I'm seeing from a lot of high-profile people, they're saying similar things to me, like, we're hearing this, but, relax about it. YouTube's not making things better, but I'll leave it there. And, maybe I'll have an update in the morning, depending on what happens. But thanks for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.